Today we return back to Windrock, show you Trail 27 and a little bit of the surrounding area going to it. So come along with us. This is Jeepingmo. Windrock is located in the Smoky Mountains, so when you're up on the mountain going to some of the trails, there's a lot of good scenery up there. On this ride we met up with some outstanding Jeepers from Chicago, Mike and Eddie. So I'm driving up to Trail 26 to meet up with Mike. So we did Trail 26, and most of the footage you're going to see today is from Trail 27. So after you get done with Trail 26, you'll have a couple options to get back, and we'll show you that as we go. Some of the trails to go up to the main trails are just like this. They're really nice gravel roads to get back out on. And then some of them are a little rougher, maybe a few bigger mud puddles here and there. But it's a good time to take your family out and enjoy some of the park. And the whole park really isn't geared up for wild buggies. While there are those wild buggy lines, you can take a family out into Windrock, enjoy some of the areas, especially if you have to drive back. You know, we all drove over 600 miles to get to the park and then had to drive back home. So we had to remember the old rule about you got to drive it home, stupid. This is the end of Trail 26. Mike and I did it. And then at the very end you have a couple options to get back. You can either turn around and do 26 backwards, or you can take 27 or go up to some of the other trails. We opted for 27. So that's a trail you're going to see here as me and Mike go through it. Right now. Yeah, you got one little bar. Now we're on Trail 27 trying to get out of here. You either had to run 26 backwards or take 27 out. So the start and the end of 27 really isn't too bad. There's some areas with some heavy rock you got to go over. When you came down the hill on 26, obviously you got to go back up for 27. Like I said, it was starting to get dark out, so a little night wheeling here. We drove down that day. We took off out of Wentzville at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and we got there at about 4:30 or so, and we wheeled 2 trails. We got out of Windrock at about 10 o'clock. So it takes you a couple hours to go through the trails. It was a complete day, and Duke, our Jeep dog, was such a trooper. He sat back there and got bounced around after riding all that time, and by the time we got back to the hotel, he was wiped out. That canopy's thick.
Yeah, no shit.
Take your radios with you. The GMRS works good out there, but there's no cell signal. So you really don't get signal until you get well out of Windrock. You can see here how thick the canopy is. You can see it's not totally dark out, but when you're down on the ground, it gets pretty dark out. And at times it looks like it's daylight when you get into the open areas, but the minute you get in there, it's pretty thick. Some of the areas like this, the camera kind of flattens out a little bit. Some of that rock was kind of heavy. It's not real difficult. It's just slow crawling over it as you crawl back up the mountain. So once you get to the top of that hill, it really is the end of 27 as you make your way out to the main way. It's a pretty good trail, especially after you do 26 and it's getting dark out. But there's plenty of nice trails out at Windrock. I'll post some more of those above here. Please remember, if you like this content, check out some of our other stuff. And we'll see you on our next adventure. This is Jeepingmo.